Welcome back to Thone's Nibbles, number 54, covering Luke chapter 10, Martha and Mary. This comes from Luke 10, verses 38 through 42. Now it happened, as they went, that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she approached him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Therefore tell her to help me." And Jesus answered and said to her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things. But one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen the good part, which will not be taken away from her." So this is about two sisters with different priorities. The explanation. Why is this in the Bible? To show how different personalities respond to the gospel. There's no question when we read the story of Mary and Martha, and for that matter their brother Lazarus, that all three of them do not love the gospel, and they love Jesus, and they are saved people, and all of that. However, their personalities respond differently to these different situations. It's written to Mary and Martha. Communications. We all need some spiritual role. The application to my life. Tolerance for those who see priorities different than I do. And that's difficult sometimes to recognize, to recognize that it's not a matter of disagreement that something should be done, but it's a matter of disagreement about what the priority thing to get done is. And that, with me, that's a difficult one, a real struggle, because I see things in a very specific way, and I push to have them done in a very specific way. But I have to now back off and have tolerance and let them have their say as to how they think it should be done. And maybe I agree and maybe I disagree, but I must at least give them the opportunity to express themselves about this matter. And this is important from everything from being a boss, a leader of people, to simply a parent of a child. You need to give them their opportunity to state their opinion. Now, it may be totally off the wall. It may be brilliant. We don't know unless we listen. God's message to me. Physical, emotional, and spiritual acts all can help the kingdom. Let's think about that. Physical acts. We must keep the church clean. That's a not too pleasant sometimes physical act. It's vacuuming, it's sweeping, it's mopping, it's cleaning toilets, it's doing things which are not probably our chosen calling in life. Or again, another set of physical things is construction work on the church. I don't think I've ever driven as many screws in my entire rest of my life as I did when we replaced the floor in the sanctuary of our church 2 summers ago. And I literally drove about 7,000 screws to hold the subflooring down before we put the carpet on it. And that was a physical challenge for me. I'm not young. Emotional. So many of us need a friend or a group of friends with which we can share our emotions. And to have someone who will just simply listen to you, to your emotions, for whatever reason, whatever your emotional upset is about. It may be a death of a loved one. It may be a loss of a job. It may be a loan that you can't figure out how to pay back. Right now, there are lots of emotional situations which we need to be able to deal with in a church setting. And that, that's having both had the need for the emotional support and also having given the emotional support to others. It's a very satisfying time when that happens, and the church just grows closer to everybody when you do that. Spiritual. Well, that's one of those duh kind of things. We need spiritual acts in the church. We need music, and I thought of that first because I'm the music director at our church. So we need music both to bring our hearts closer to Jesus and at the same time set up our hearts for the message that the preacher is going to preach. Sometimes we obviously need preaching, or else why are we even going to church? That is the primary focus of that Sunday morning service, is the preaching of what God has laid upon the heart of the preacher. We need Bible studies. We need Sunday school classes. We need various teaching mechanisms to teach the spiritual truths of God, as well as that Sunday morning service. All so we can help the kingdom. All of those, physical, emotional, and spiritual, to help the kingdom. My personal response to this: Lord, help me to decide ministry priorities and carefully be able to spend time wisely. And that is a challenge sometimes. Right now, you may be aware, I'm acting sort of as the leadership of the church, because our pastor is not, our pastor moved on, so to speak, and we're in the process of finding a new pastor. I'm the chairman of the committee that's trying to do that, to find a new pastor. And as well as that, there are 1,001 other things which I wasn't so much aware of. I was aware of their existence, but not the frequency of peculiar phone calls that one receives from people who are trying to get a bid in to buy, to sell the church the insurance that it needs. There are people who are calling to want to book the well, we have a gymnasium in our church, and that's what we know, where we normally have activities. The having a baby shower in our gym, or having a birthday party, or a family dinner, a special family dinner of some sort. I get lots of phone calls like that, and I have to look in the book and that date's okay, and so we have to set priorities, and so, and my priority for this afternoon actually is to get this done. This is in my personal ministry, not the church ministry. But at any rate, that's the end of this one, and we'll see you next time.